There's 600 wild deer living 10 miles from Big Ben, and most Londoners have never seen one. It's 35 degrees, I've had one of those weeks, and somewhere in that park is a gate with 2 words on it. This is the ride. Quick context, I make videos about trying to build a decent, disciplined life without escaping to a beach somewhere. Same city, same rent, same Monday. So this isn't a video about getting away from London. It's about what you can find inside it, if you're willing to sweat a bit. The route does something strange straight away. It sends you through a cemetery. This is Brompton, one of London's magnificent 7. Around 200,000 people resting either side of this path. Beatrix Potter lived just around the corner, and the story goes she pinched names off these headstones. There's a Mr. Nutkins in here, a Mr. McGregor, even a Peter Rabbit with 2 T's. Emmeline Pankhurst is here too. And honestly, I like starting rides this way. Nothing gets you pedaling like a reminder that the clock is running. Down at the river, the rowing clubs are already out. You can hire a boat here for not much, and there's a bar where half the cyclists in southwest London seem to finish their rides. I'm not stopping yet. Now this is a rare thing, actual gravel in London. On a weekend you're sharing it with every runner, dog and a pram in the postcode, but it thins out eventually, and I'd rather give way to 100 prams than share a lane with one white van. A word of honesty, it's about 35 degrees, and this is exactly the kind of day you should not be doing this. If you do anyway, water, carbs, electrolytes, I learned that the hard way once, and once was enough. So yes, that's me buying a sports drink at a Sainsbury like a professional athlete, more or less. The closer you get to Richmond, the better the river gets. Boats for hire, people lying on the grass doing absolutely nothing, which is a skill I'm still learning, and street vendors every few 100 meters. And this man right here is about to teach me something. I dreamt about you when you were chasing me with a broom. I ordered a watermelon juice and asked for ice, which was denied. He looks at me and goes, "Watermelon is already all water," which I can't argue with that. And you know what? He was right. It was perfect as it was, which is first lesson of the day. Sometimes you don't get the ice, drink the juice anyway. 20 kilometers of that heat, and finally, Richmond Park, walled off in 1637 by King Charles I, who had moved out here partly to escape the plague in the city. 400 years later, people are still coming here to escape London, and including me apparently. And then poking around the back trails, I found this, a gate, two words on it, the way. So did I find the way? Well, no. The way was shut, which, given the week I'd had, felt about right. But here's the thing, I keep having to relearn. When the way is shut, you go around, and around the corner, another entrance. One of those narrow gates built so a person fits through and a bike basically doesn't. I squeezed us both in anyway, and on the other side, I found this, empty trails, nobody, pure quiet. And I think that's funny how that works. The big entrance was shut, the narrow one was awkward, and the narrow one led to the best part. There's an old line about that, narrow is the gate and few find it. I used to think that was only about church. Standing here, I think it might be about everything. End of the trail, and guess what? Another one of those gates. Squeezed through, getting good at this now. And then a choice, free pass, left, right, straight on. No signs, no reviews, so I went straight, no reason. Sometimes you just pick one and pedal. Now, I did have a map, but I still got lost. This park is enormous, nearly 3 times the size of Central Park, and the paths in the middle do not care about your plans. I ended up on this rugged track towards a lake, totally overgrown, clearly not meant for bikes. It was lined with plants that were, let's say, enthusiastic about touching my legs and hands. But every wrong turn today had the same pattern. The map said one thing, and the day said another, and the day kept being right. And then I looked up and remembered, I'm sharing this place with 600 of deer, wild deer, descendants of the herd King Charles used to hunt. And sadly, I was unable to find not a single deer. I looked everywhere, but unfortunately there were none. "35 degrees" showing on my phone, legs gone. This is usually the part of a ride where I ask myself why I do this. Today I didn't have to ask, just wait for it. And then the trees opened up. Look at this. 10 miles from the center of one of the loudest cities on earth, and there's not a single sound here except water and wind. I found afterward it's called Pen Ponds, so I just stood there for a while. Bit of a traffic on the way round. Only queue in London I don't mind being stuck in. Rush hour, Richmond style. There's a line I've known since I was a kid. He leads me beside still waters. I always thought it was just nice poetry. Today, 40 kilometers in, sweaty, lost, scratched to bits, it reads less like poetry and more like directions. You don't need to escape your life to find this. You just have to go through a few short gates and squeeze past the narrow ones. So that was it. 40 kilometers, 35 degrees, 1 shotway, 2 narrow gates, 3 pass, and 0 regrets. If this was worth your time, a like generally helps, and subscribe if you want to come along on the next one. I'm not escaping anywhere, I'm just learning to find it here.